Thank you. I appreciate it. So you've been working, or are you already working with Joaquin Guzman, or not really?
Well,
You're not the lawyer.
I'm sort of in a limbo state. I've been doing some work learning about his case. I'm not allowed to have the discovery materials in the case because I haven't put an official notice of appearance in. But certainly I've, discussed, a variety of strategic issues with regard to the case. So I feel, based on the amount of mileage I feel I've had on this case visiting him, I certainly feel like as if I'm working on the case.
You've been with him for how many
Since
time?
February. I've been visiting him, usually once a week or so, sometimes
once
more.
a week?
Yeah.
Now, he doesn't speak English. You don't speak Spanish. So
Well, I've only had 5 years of Spanish in school. I can say about 9 words.
Oh, you do?
No, yeah, sure. That's about it. But I bring an interpreter with me, and it's gotten to the point that it's very easy to communicate with him.
How do you find him? How is he right now? I mean,
he's agitated. I mean, he's stressed, as you can imagine. He's been sitting basically in a cave, in a black hole, since January, the end of January when he got here. He's had virtually no contact with his family. He doesn't get to talk to any other inmates, any other prisoners.
Never?
Never. He doesn't even see them.
Okay.
Doesn't see them. He can speak to guards, except they don't speak Spanish. So the only contact he has with humans are with lawyers. And anybody who's ever had any experience with lawyers, I don't know that I would wish that on my worst enemy, that your only human contact is with lawyers. Yeah.
And you are a lawyer, so you know what you're talking
I know
about.
it all too well.
Okay.
So it's been tough for him in terms of family. He's not allowed to communicate with his wife. He saw his children, which has been reported
just once, right?
For the first time, for an hour, a first time, and we're on 8 months now. I mean, it's been very, very difficult emotionally for him. He's been under conditions that I've never seen in 27 years.
Is this
of
exceptional?
practice.
Like what?
It's the most exceptional. I don't know that there's an inmate in the country that has a detention set up as he does.
Not even terrorists?
Not that any I've ever been exposed to or represented. He can't write a letter. Any letter that he writes to his family
it has to be
is reviewed by the prosecutors in this case. So you can imagine there's not going to be much detail in those letters.
Well, you have the background. I mean, he's escaped from prison twice, so you know the background a little bit. Maybe that's why, and maybe that explains everything.
Yeah, I'm sure that that's certainly what they're using as a pretext to lock him up the way they are. But keep in mind that escaping from a prison in Mexico, with all respect, is not the same as escaping from a prison in New York City.
How's a prison in New York City?
It's highly.
How is it?
It's this is not the kind of prison anyone's ever escaped from. Okay. No one's escaping from a prison like this. He's 10 stories up in Lower Manhattan. Every few feet there's a 2-ton metal door that he would have to get through. It's virtually impossible. I've sat with him well over 100 hours. I've never had a contact visit with him.
Never.
I've never seen him but through glass. It's the only client that I've ever dealt with that I have not been able to sit with and go through materials and have a discussion face to face like a human being. He's not even allowed that. So it's been tough.
You have to do it every time
through the glass.
Okay, how did you get in contact with him, or how did he got in contact with you?
We were recommended by the federal defenders. I went to go see him. Some lawyers were recommended. Some lawyers just went in just to go see him, giving it a shot to try to get the case. My view is as high profile as this case is, it doesn't mean that just because a case is high profile that as a defense lawyer, it's something that I have to have. You need to feel something for the client. You need to feel something for the case, at least for me, I find. It's easier for me to defend someone that I like and that I can understand. That, look, I don't judge him the way perhaps the government does, I would hope not. I judge him the way he treats me. Mm-hmm. So forget whatever he's been accused of, forget his history. Because if I started judging people based on what they're charged with, I'd never get out of bed in the morning. I can only judge them as how they treat me, and he's been nothing short of a gentleman. He's been polite, he's highly intelligent, he's charming, he's got a great sense of humor. What I'd also say, and this speaks volumes about the man, is that his family loves him. I've met with his wife, I've met with his sister, and they've sat in this very space where you are right now, crying about him. And that's not the kind of thing that people do necessarily for every client that I have. But they do for him, and that does give some indication that perhaps there's another side to him than what's been, vastly reported by the media.
So you immediately said yes, you would be interested in defending him?
Well, I was interested in the case. I wouldn't have gone to see him if I wasn't interested, but it took a while
because
for us.
it's like it's very high profile and it's like a challenge for you, or
why I would want the case?
Yeah.
Well, the reason why I'd want the case, I suppose, is because it's a humongous challenge. And look, any lawyer that doesn't want a case like this, who would ever want him as their lawyer?
He should be doing something.
I mean,
else, I guess.
digging ditches, perhaps. I mean, this is the ultimate challenge. You've got the media has already buried him. The prosecutors have already buried him. So society has already buried him. So I have to give him his constitutional rights and give him the fight that he deserves, that everybody charged with a crime deserves. It's easy to represent the guy that perhaps society is a celebrity that society loves and might be easier to get an acquittal, but that's not what we do for a living as defense lawyers. We have to represent the people that are perhaps even hated by society. And I don't know that he's even necessarily hated by society in all corners. I mean, I certainly have spoken to a lot of people that respect him.
Not at the hometown. But you know what we've been through in Mexico because of the drug dealing thing.
You know what? I hear you, and I certainly appreciate that. This is not the first person accused of narcotics crimes that I've represented. But I have to tell you that in Mexico, it's perhaps easy to blame it on the people that are alleged to be dealing drugs. Mexico is a highly corrupt nation. Politicians. This is not all because of Joaquin Guzman. I mean, this starts from the very top to the very bottom. There is all sorts of wrongful activity going on within the government. Most of that has nothing to do with Joaquin Guzman. So it's easy to blame it on him, but it's just not true.
So you've been talking to whom? I mean, Joaquin, and then to the family and the lawyers in Mexico? Or how's the deal here? Because you're not yet the lawyer.
No, I mean, mainly I'm just dealing with him.
Only with him?
Not only. I mean, I've dealt with some other people around him, but mainly it's him.
Okay.
Because that's really, that's really the relationship that matters.
That's what you need to work. Now, what do you need to define what's going to happen? I mean, why are you in the limbo? Because of the money, the payment?
Well, the government has stated from the beginning that he has too much wealth to be entitled to taxpayer-funded federal defenders. And I can certainly understand that position. It makes sense. Then let him hire his own lawyer. He settled on me and a few of my friends now, and we went to the government and said, look, we'd like to come into the case. And they were like, slow down a second. We want to make sure that there's no issue with regard to the funds. We can't promise that the funds won't be seized. So this is not a 2-week minor assault case. This is a major federal case that's going to last months. The jury selection could last a month in a case like this. Who knows how long it's going to last.
When is the jury, the trial?
Trial right now is set for April 18th.
April, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But this is something that's going to take a year of my life. And it's something that I'm going to be working on nonstop. So,
and you should be expensive.
Well, and frankly, I'm not the cheapest lawyer, and that's usually a function of success that I've had for 27 years. I didn't start doing this last night, and I want to be sure that you can see I've got employees, I've got rent. I'm in Midtown Manhattan. It's expensive here. I'd like to be able to pay everyone and make sure that this is not going to be something that's going to destroy me financially. I think, look, I hear from people criticism. Well, if you cared about the case, you'd do it for free. Well, you know what I would say to them?
It's expensive.
You do your job for free for a year and see how your life looks after a year. And by the way, you're going to be working 7 days a week, 16, 17 hours a day. Do all that for free. And oh, by the way, if they take the fee, you may have to put out a few $100,000 as well out of your pocket for expenses. Find me a single person that opens up a mouth that would do that. Guess what? There's not a single person. Every big mouth on the sidelines that says, why are they concerned about the money? You work for free.
Have they been saying that?
I get that, but I mean, look, there's...
Is there any bonus, something?
No, it doesn't work that way.
No?
No, it doesn't work that way. In America, for criminal cases, you get paid a fee, and you receive a fee. I've had cases where I've gotten acquittals. There's no bonus. Look, what we do is we get paid fairly, if we can, for our work, and that's it. If we win, fantastic. If we lose, that we've done everything and anything possible to win a case.
To win the case.
And that's how my clients are, is that people say, well, aren't you nervous representing dangerous people like this? Well, you know what? I'd be nervous if I was betraying them by not working hard enough on their case. It's never happened to me because we
They
treat
know
these
you've been
cases
working
like
on
it's
it.
life and death. Because it's not just them that I'm fighting for. I'm fighting for me too. I mean, I'm not just there to fight for them. I mean, I'm there for myself. I'm there for my children. I'm there to fight for all of us. We're all in this together. That's how I treat the cases, and that's how any good lawyer should treat the case.
Well, but it's not a life issue for you. I mean, it's different. Which was your first case, like these high-profile cases? Do you remember?
I mean, this
Gotti?
is the Gotti case. I mean, I've had plenty of cases that were in the media before Gotti, but there's cases that are in the media, and then there are cases that are in the media. And Gotti was something that I would say that in New York was bigger than Guzman.
Now, what are the chances? I mean, considering he confessed, I don't know if it's, legally confessed whatever he said to Sean Penn in this interview.
I have to tell you.
But he said,
So I'll answer your second question first, which is about this so-called confession. I don't consider it a confession. I don't know if the government's even planning on using whatever was said.
Can you use it? I mean, is it legally
I
usable?
don't know that they can use it. Who's going to come in and testify that this is exactly what he was said, that there was no editing of what he said? I mean, look, you're talking about Rolling Stone magazine and Sean Penn. You can't possibly think that that interview was done solely for a search for the truth. It was done to sell magazines. That's what it was for. It was done by an actor to sell magazines. So who knows what came out that wasn't doctored up. I mean, he's an artist, and he was painting a picture. Doesn't
But
mean
there's a tape.
necessarily the truth.
I mean, it is on tape.
Again, do we know that it's been unedited? Would you want your life to depend on a tape that somebody gave to Rolling Stone? I don't think you would. I don't think anybody would.
So it doesn't affect the case.
I don't think it does. I don't think it does at all. I mean, look, if the government's case is so weak that they're going to be relying on, Sean Penn's taped interview that may or may not have been edited, I like my chances.
Okay, so it's the state versus Joaquin, no?
The federal government.
Okay, and which are the, what is he accused of?
He's accused of various narcotics-related offenses in Brooklyn. I'm talking about just the Brooklyn, the Eastern District of New York case. He's charged with violence. He's charged with narcotics. He's pretty much the whole kitchen sink is how we would call in America.
Everything.
Everything.
So, which are the chances? I know you're called the genius, the what is it? The genius lawyer.
I have to tell you, whatever the media calls me.
LinkedIn. You have
I'm
to
thrilled
just
that they
LinkedIn.
don't say anything bad about me.
No, they call you the genius.
And I tell you, with all respect to the media, and I appreciate every positive thing that's ever said about me, I also know that the media can turn, as we all know. I know in my heart what kind of lawyer I am, and people that don't know the work that we do and are not familiar with the law, their beliefs on what kind of lawyer I am, and I say this with all respect, you sort of take it with a grain of salt. I know in my heart what kind of man I am and what kind of lawyer I am. I would never count me out in any case. I don't care what the case is. I don't care what people think the odds are. I don't care.
You wouldn't be in if you, no?
I wouldn't have taken the case if I thought, I didn't take it to lose it.
Are they good chances? I mean,
I don't know. I haven't seen the
best
evidence
scenario. Best scenario.
Best scenario is that he gets an acquittal and we go on to the next case.
How many cases are there?
I think there's 6 right now. So
6.
There's a lot of cases.
But this has to be solved soon, and this depends on, again, the state. They have to say, okay, the money.
Well, we're trying to work through those issues. My view is, look, Joaquin Guzman is charged with very serious crimes that if he's convicted of almost anything in this case, in this first case, he dies in prison, in an American prison.
That's it.
There's no parole here. He dies in prison. If he's convicted of anything, he will die.
This first trial.
In just the first trial. So his conditions.
It's either this.
It's it. If he has to win this case.
Okay.
So add on top of that, he has no contact with his family or his loved ones. He's not allowed to have face-to-face dealings with his lawyer without through the glass. His prison conditions are, I believe, are pure torture. I don't think anybody who's actually seen it up there would suggest otherwise. So you put all that together, you figure, you know what, at the very least, can he have the lawyer of his choice? Can he have the lawyer of his choice? Is that asking so much? I don't think that's asking so much, is it? that he at least have the lawyer of his choice. We're not asking for anything more than that. And you'll find, as the lawyer, the kind of guy I am, I don't ask for any favors. I don't ask for anything. I'm just there. Just tell me when the trial date is, and I'll be there. You don't see what goes behind the scenes to get me ready. I'll be there and I'll be ready. Somehow or another, I had a lawyer ask me today, how will you be ready? And before I even answered, he said, oh, I know. I know if anyone's going to be ready, it's going to be you. And I'll be ready. I'm not coming into this case to embarrass myself. It's not going to happen. I am here, and whatever anybody thinks, you have no chance that Joaquin Guzman is finished. Everything I've heard before in New York in another trial, and we proved those doubters wrong. And believe me, like I said, I wouldn't bet against me.